Hi, I am Miss Ashley, and today we are going to be learning about chemistry and one of the most important topics in chemistry, what atoms are. Chemistry is my favorite subject, although I won't say that in all my videos. So what are atoms? I like to think of atoms as little teeny tiny building blocks that make up everything in the universe. You and I are made out of atoms. I am drinking tea while I record my videos and it's made out of atoms. Everything in the universe is made out of atoms. And atoms are really, really small. They're so small that we can't see them with a microscope. And I like to give an example to put in perspective how small atoms are. So think of a teeny tiny grain of salt, the kind of salt that we put on our food. There are more than 1,000,000 atoms in a single grain of salt, more than 1 billion atoms, more than 1 trillion atoms, more than 1 quadrillion atoms. There are 1.2 quintillion atoms in a single teeny tiny grain of salt. So think about how tiny atoms must be in order for there to be that many packed into something as small as a grain of salt. Now, atoms are made from 3 basic components, and we are going to talk about each of them in a little bit more detail. The first, and you can see on the slide, it's kind of a orangish, brownish color. The first component is the proton, and protons have a positive charge, and they are clustered together in the middle of the atom. We call that middle of the atom the nucleus. The second component is the neutron, and that is represented by the gray circles. And neutrons are neutral, which means they have no charge. So the protons and neutrons are clustered together in the middle of the atom, and that is called the nucleus. The blue circles represent the negatively charged electrons that orbit around the protons and neutrons in the middle of the atom. So let's talk a little bit more about that first component, which is the proton. Protons have a positive charge, and when I was a kid, I used to remember that because proton and positive both start with the letter P. Now, that really only works with protons. It doesn't work with the neutrons and electrons. Protons are located in the nucleus of the atom, so in that middle part of the atom, and the number of protons is what determines what element an atom is. And we know how many protons are in an element or in an atom of an element based on the atomic number. So the atomic number is the number of protons in an atom of a specific element. Next, let's learn about the neutrons. Neutrons are neutral, which means they have no charge, and they are also located in the nucleus or the middle of the atom along with the protons. And neutrons, while they have no charge, they do affect the mass of an atom. Now let's learn about electrons. Electrons have a negative charge, and they are located outside of the nucleus. They are actually moving around the nucleus, and that's what the lines on the picture of the atom represent. And in a neutral atom, there are the same number of electrons as there are protons. Let's talk about atomic number versus mass number. Atomic number is the number of protons in an atom. The mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. And at the end of class, I'll do a couple quiz questions and we'll go through an example of atomic number versus mass number. Common mistakes. So some common mistakes are number 1, mixing up atomic number and mass number. Again, the atomic number is the number of protons and the mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. A second common mistake that I see a lot is thinking the electrons are in the nucleus. The nucleus is just the protons and neutrons, and the electrons orbit around the nucleus. The third common mistake is forgetting that neutral atoms have equal numbers of protons and electrons. So for neutral atoms, the number of protons and the number of electrons are the same. All right, let's do some recap quiz questions. First one, which particle has a positive charge? Is it A, the proton, B, the electron, or C, the neutron? Ready? The answer is A, the proton. Protons have a positive charge, Electrons have a negative charge, and neutrons are neutral, meaning they have no charge. Next question. If an atom has 8 protons, what is its atomic number? Is it A16, B4, or C8? I'm going to give just a second for you to think of your answer. All right, the answer is 8. The atomic number means the number of protons in an atom. Last recap question. If an atom has 6 protons and 7 neutrons, what is its mass number? Is it A13, B6, or C7? The answer is 13. So the mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So in this question, the atom has 6 protons and 7 neutrons, and 6 plus 7 equals 13. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any other topics that you would like to learn about or that you would like to understand better to do homework or finish an exam, please leave me a comment and I would be happy to make a video about whatever topics you need help learning. And also, if you have any science or math questions for me, I would love to make a video answering any questions you might have. All right, thank you. Bye.